Doris introduced Tife to a prostitution business where she got her sexy dresses, wigs, heavy makeup, and nice bags with nice shoes, and they went out by 10 p.m. as usual at night. Doris took Tife to a bar, a place where Tife had never been in her life, and she taught Tife how to smile, how to talk, and how to move when she was with rich men. Tife met her first customer, and she used Doris' tricks to get him, and the night went on like that. And so Tife started selling her body for money. The next day, Tife sat on her bed, smiling at the money in her hands. She had never held such huge amount of money before, except from the time she wanted to rent an apartment when she had never met Doris. But now, this money, she had them to herself. She could use them to buy food, clothes, bags, all types of expensive things which she would wear to woo other men. Tife loved the business she was into and also loved the early benefits it had been bringing in for her. That day, she dressed differently to the university. She dressed in a blue gown, looking all elegant. She dressed in a way that she had never dressed before, and even students couldn't hide their shocks when they saw her. They knew Tife to be a studious girl, but the Tife they saw now was already no longer interested in studying or education. Other days after night business, she would come to school elegantly and start buying foods, sponsoring other students for their meals, and acting all rich and happy. And this made her gain popularity and a lot of friends. At night, she would go to rooms with different men after meeting them at the bar. And this happened for a long time, until one day, Tife suddenly fell ill and couldn't go to either the university or her late night jobs. Doris checked up on her and asked her how she was feeling, but she said she was feeling weak and she felt like she couldn't stand up. Doris tried giving her medications. After checking it for a few days, it never worked. But yet, something changed in her. She started growing a belly, which hasn't been noticed, but they started noticing it after a few weeks, and Tife started feeling weaker and weaker by day. Doris took her to the hospital, and when the doctor said that she was pregnant, but the type of pregnancy she had didn't appear in the scan when they scanned it. When the doctor said this to Doris, she immediately left Tife in the hospital and never showed her face again. Tife also got discharged from the hospital because there was nothing they could do, and she was back on the streets. She started begging for money so that she could at least transport herself from the city to her hometown. People noticed her and helped her, and when she gathered enough money, she set out to her hometown. She wore a big top while she was going, and she tried covering her belly so people wouldn't notice. And few days after she got to the village, an old man, which was a famous native doctor in that village, told her that this was a taboo in her tradition, but there was a cure to it. The belly won't just stop growing bigger. It will contain a baby in it, and she would give birth peacefully after the ritual. And so it was done. And after a few months, good news came. Tife gave birth to a beautiful baby girl in the village, and she decided to leave the village for the city to continue her journey there with her new baby. When she got to the city, she rented a small apartment. Although she didn't return back to the university or completed her education, but she was happy she had something to be grateful for, a child to call her own. And even after all her struggles, God still brought joy to her. And that was the reason why she named her child Ayomide, meaning my joy has come. TIFE worked hard and happened to own her own supermarket. And after 7 years, her child became big, beautiful, and brilliant. She named her supermarket Groceries from the Heart because her heart has faced a lot, but she was still willing to feed people straight from her heart. And her and her daughter continued to live happily ever after. The end. The moral lesson of this story is to avoid bad peer influence. When you see that a friend of yours is leading you to an incorrect way, you should learn to stay away from such friends. It is not compulsory to have friends, and having no friends doesn't mean loneliness, but it means it's just another way of having peace in your life. Know the kind of friends you keep, because they will surely show on you. Like the saying goes, show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. I'm not saying you shouldn't make friends, but be careful of the kind of friends you make so you wouldn't regret being their friend in the first place. That's all for now. I'll see you in my next video. But please don't forget to like, comment, share to your loved ones, and subscribe to my channel in order to see my next video. Bye for now.